Hi y'all, it's Kelly from LOCH BRIAR Knits coming to you on a very sunny Friday afternoon. It's July 20th and I'm coming to you from Nova Scotia, Canada, right by the Atlantic Ocean. So welcome everybody, to all returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you very much. To all new subscribers and new viewers, welcome. I hope you like the podcast and you'll come back and join us on a regular basis. And I have no admin for you today, other than where to find me, which I will pop up along here. I'm most active on Instagram at Kelly L. Boyce, and sorry, I've got the dog roaming around here. And I'm waiting for him to get into something because he's kind of doing that. You're not paying attention to me, so I need to see what I can grab to get your attention. Buddy. Come here. Oh, you can't see this face, but it's really cute. It's going to be cuter in 2 hours because he's going to the groomer, so I got to get cracking. Mwah. You can lay down? Sorry. And we're going to do 2.5 circles. And down. Okay, sorry. So, where you can find me, Kelly L. Boyce, at Kelly L. Boyce on Instagram, where I'm most active. Also, LOCH BRIAR Knits is my Etsy shop where I sell my hand-dyed yarns. I also have a Facebook page, LOCH BRIAR Knits, and there's the Ravelry group for this podcast, which is also LOCH BRIAR Knits, and so go on over and check that out. I keep my show notes there. I didn't do show notes for the last episode, and partly because I was feeling really lazy, and I had a really lazy weekend, and I just didn't feel like it, and also because I didn't do anything new last weekend, so everything I talked about was actually in the show notes from the previous episode, which is going to be much like today, but, you know. In my defense, I was incapacitated by the kayaking injury, which, little update, you'll see I don't have my funky rock tape on my shoulder. I do have to put it back on, though. I just took it off because I had physio yesterday, and he does dry needling, which I like to call dry noodling for some reason. So I just had to have the bandages off. But I have my MRI scheduled for Monday, so hopefully, and you'll notice, I do have, like, more mobility. Like, yeah, last episode I was like, so... which is a good sign. It could mean that I only have a partial tear of my rotator cuff and not a full-on tear. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's all it is, or even better, just a sprain. And I won't have to get surgery because I really don't want to get surgery because I don't want to do the rehab all over again. So anyway, since I do have to get the dog to his beauty parlor appointment, I'm gonna get cracking because I have a faux. I finished my Teal It Like It Is socks, and you know what I should have done? Oh, it's way over there. Okay, I should have put it on the bigger sock blockers because they're a little loose on these ones. But this is my Teal It Like It Is colorway, and I just did a vanilla sock with the, you know, kind of the 2x2 ribbing for about, I don't know, what's that, 1.5 inches maybe? And then the Aya Partridge heel flap gusset, and then just the rounded toe where I Kitchener. So just basically, I did, again, I've been getting really good at not leaving the little gaps here, but on this one, I do have a little bit of a gap. I don't bother sewing those in or darning them closed most of the time because it's just for me. I think I did okay on this one. Oh, that one's a good little one. It seems I get one good side, and then one side it just sort of gets a little gappy. So, and that side's okay. But I love this colorway. There's still some of this in the shop. It's like a nice kind of bright chartreuse and teal, and then there's like some little speckling through it. Not a whole lot. I just kept the speckling really light through it because I wanted to show off the teal and the chartreuse. But there's still some of those in the shop if you're interested. And that is my finished object. There's really not that much to say about it. These actually knit really quickly. And this was on my BFL base, which is an 80/20 BFL, Leicester, and nylon. So I was calling it like Leicester, I think, last episode. I don't know why. Anyway, you know what I just realized is I didn't check to see if my sound was working. I always do a sound check ever since that last episode where I recorded the entire episode. And it just came back with no sound. So I'm just going to check that and then I'll come right back. Yay, sounds okay. So I usually do that right before and then the dog distracted me and whatever. So anyway, sound check performed. So that's it. That's my one faux. But these I found these came off the needles really quickly, and I think it was because my regular sock yarn is 75/25, which is a thinner strand, and the 80/20 is a little thicker. So it just seemed to fly quicker. And I think too, I really enjoyed knitting up, seeing how this colorway was going to come out, and I'm really, really happy with it. So that's it. The Teal It Like It Is socks, which are kind of falling off. Oh, there he goes. See, buddy. I don't know where he's going. So that's it. But the first week following the last podcast, did I say what episode this was? I think it's episode 36. Welcome to episode 36. I think this is going to be one of those podcasts where I'm just all over the place, so brace yourselves. By the way, I'm drinking out of my Shop Around the Corner mug, and we're actually going to do a day trip down to Lunenburg and Mahone Bay tomorrow. It was supposed to be sunny, and now it's calling for thunder showers, but I'm like, I don't care. Let's just go. If we wait for good weather on the weekend in Nova Scotia, we'd have to wait till September. So, anyway, that's not true. It's sometimes true. It feels like it's true. Anyway, it says thunder showers now. It could change 6 times between now and tomorrow morning. So anyways, I want to go to the Shop on the Corner shop where I got this mug because they have like really great stuff, and I may get myself a new mug. Maybe. I have 2 of these already and I love them, but girl can't have too many mugs. Unless you ask my husband, who says I have way too many mugs, but he doesn't understand there's mugs for separate things. I don't know how to explain it to the man. Anyway, neither here nor there. So anyways, let's get cracking. See, I know that I have a timeline here that I have to get somewhere. Doing this a lot. So I'm rambling. Okay, what are we doing? That was the faux. So I didn't get a lot of knitting done on some things, but I did get a lot of knitting done on some other things. And the reason why was I found some things were easier for me to knit because of my shoulder than others were. So my Tegna sweater did not get a lot of love. It got some, but I found I was moving my shoulder more, and it was aggravating it, and it was getting really sore. So I would do maybe like 2 rows and then set it down and go work on something else. But it didn't get as much love as I wanted it to. I'm not going to have that thing done by the end of the summer at the rate I'm going. And anyway, I did cast on another sock because there's always a sock on the go. And I was going to do one of my second socks because I have I have 2 pairs where I've got the first sock done and I'm waiting to do the second sock, but I just felt like casting on something new, and so I did. So this, I love this yarn. This is my Burning Down the House colorway that I had done, and it's a double dip, which is my name for it, and it kind of creates, it's not a self-striping, but the double dip creates a micro striping effect in a way. So this one's like I don't know if you can see the red in it a little, red and orange, and then some white. So this is my Burning Down the House colorway, and I love it. I'm knitting this. See, here's the thing. This is in, let's see if I can show you this. There, so you can see how sharp these are. These are my Addy Turbo lace, and I swear they're as sharp as my Hiya sharps. And these are a size US 0, which I think is 2 millimeter. And I think, I mean, this is gonna fit because I like my socks to be like fitted, not loose. But I don't, these are gonna be like on the tight end of fitted, I think. But at the same time, I know they stretch out over time, so I'm really not that worried about it. But if I were to do it again on my size 0s, I would maybe go up. This is a 56 stitch, which is my normal stitch count. And I might go up a little bit to maybe, what's the next one? 64, 62, 64, maybe. I don't know, that might make it a little too loose. But again, these are knitting along pretty quickly, and it's mostly because I just love watching how this is developing. I love this. I don't have any orange socks either, so, and that's it caked up. I don't have any of this in the shop right now. It's all sold out, but I think I may do some more of this up for the fall. I haven't been able to do any yarn dyeing since the whole shoulder debacle, as I like to call it. Hang on. There. But it's starting to feel better, and I'm starting to get some mobility back. I still can't lift anything heavy. So I'm a little concerned about how it's going to behave when I'm trying to like pull the yarn up. I can do this, I can move it this way now, but I can't lift a lot of weight. So I'm trying to think, am I going to be able to lift it up with this and then kind of hold this and pull it down, which feels a little uncomfortable? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking like trying to get like the excess water out of the skeins before I start dyeing and drying and all that stuff. So I don't know. I may start off and just try like a really small batch and see how that goes. I have next Friday off as well. So I may try that and see how it goes, and start to get a little more. I had plans on doing like some summer colorways and stuff like that, but I mean, we're getting close to the fall, so I'm almost starting to think maybe I should stock up and start doing my fall dyes. It just seems weird. We're like mid-July and I'm thinking fall already, but I don't know. We'll see. I might get a couple more summer colorways in there before I start doing the other ones, the fall ones. So yeah, so that was one. I've got like my Rogue Bang again. I forgot my clip. One thing I have been working on, I've been doing some car knitting on our way to the summer house, which we haven't really been out to that much because John's dad's down and he's in residence. So you just, I don't know. It's not like you don't want to spend time with them. It's just that you want to kind of get away from the weekend, and by get away, I mean like get away from everybody and just have some time to yourselves as a couple and blah, blah, blah. But then it's like suddenly you've got a chaperone there, and that sounds like, what are you doing? That you're worried about it? No. Anyways, it's just, I don't know, it just, the place doesn't feel like your own, and like you're in somebody else's space. It's just hard to relax. So, you know, we haven't been down there. But we did get down last weekend because his dad had gone back to Toronto. Now he's coming back. I think he arrives today. So we were thinking we would go down tonight if he was arriving tomorrow. But it turns out he's going to be arriving today. So anyway, so I did get some of this. This was a cowl. And I used the Sockhead cowl pattern by, I think it's Kelly McClure. I don't have it in there, but I used this yarn that I had bought ages ago. I don't remember where it was from. I don't have the tag at all because I'd kind of caked it up, and then I don't know what I did with the tag. But I like it because it sort of has this rusty stained glass effect to it. And it looked more stained glass in the cake. And now when it knits up, it almost looks a little more like fall rustic to me. So I'm knitting this up. I think it will be a Christmas gift for my sister-in-law maybe. Yeah, so I think that's, so I've just been, and it's literally, it's just straight up stocking stitch. What I did was, I'm actually, sorry, my shoulder's getting wonky. I'm probably going to widen it. I started to widen it out a little bit, just so that if you wanted it, like right now it would just be like tubular, and I wanted it to kind of come out a bit if you wanted that option. So I've kind of done a gradual increase in the size, sort of going up this way, just to widen it out a little bit on one end. So we'll see how that looks. I think it'll be fine. And it's just like really straight stocking knit, and then when I get to the end, I'll just repeat this. So that's just been some car knitting I've been working on, and that's been one of my languishing whips that I would really like to get off the needles. So that's the other thing, and that's in my little skein in the big wool Anna Green Gables bag. There. So that's that. I was trying to, oh yeah. So the Tegna, which is in my lemonade bag by Longview Creations. Love this bag. It's so summery. It's so bright and summery. So this is the Tegna Sweater by Caitlin Hunter, BoyLand Knits. And even without the shoulder issue, this sweater, this has been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm questioning my sanity at deciding to make it, but oh my god, I got a mess here. So, I don't know. There's been a couple times where I've been, maybe I should just, alright, so I'm going to have to squish this up, or I know I'm going to knock these off again. So, this is basically how far I've got. And it's not been without its mistakes, which I don't know how much any mistakes are really showing. I've tried, there have been a couple times where I've found a mistake from a row previous, but I'd already moved on. So I fudged it, and I think it's coming out okay. But I'm literally, where am I here? I'm about, yeah, so I'm right here where this ridge, I'm knitting this like ridge right here. So I still have all of this to go, which is basically I gotta repeat what I've already done. It's a slog, people. I don't know. If I didn't really like the sweater so much, I would have frogged this a long time ago because the lace is just, I think what part of my problem is that I don't mind doing lace, but I like like a row of lace and then maybe a row of just straight knit. So you're getting a break, but this is not like this. This is literally lace, 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 lace. There's, in this section here, there have been a couple of knit rows thrown in randomly. Not randomly, I mean, it's part of the pattern, but it's not consistent as far as like lace and then knit, lace and then knit. It's like lace, 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 knit, lace, 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 knit. So it's, I find it mentally exhausting when I'm doing it. And I think that's the reason that this is bothering my shoulder, is that my body is so tense because I'm just like, I have to count every stitch because I'm just not one of these people that can like do lace without, you know, counting my stitches. Like, yeah, I don't know. I've seen people like fly through lace like they just seem to be able to memorize the pattern and just intuitively knit lace. I'm not that person. I am so not that person. So anyway, it's been a struggle. I'm knitting this on my Ilmani, I'm trying to find the tag in here. Is that it? Yeah. My Ilmani yarn in their Savory line, which is an organic cotton, and it's mixed with, that didn't work. What's it mixed with? 85% organic cotton and 15% baby alpaca. So, I didn't even have that on my ear. There. And I love this yarn. I would like, I've got more of their yarn to make a sweater out of, another sweater out of. And I also bought, I don't know if I have it here or not. I bought like just a plain kind of off-white ecru skein to make something else with, or mix it in with something else. I love the yarn. Love it. It's so soft and easy to work with. And I think that's definitely helping, because I think if I had a yarn that I didn't enjoy as much working with, I probably would have frogged this. So, and I think part of it too is that I'm just giving myself a mental block about it, because I know I don't want to knit all that lace. But once I finish that next section, I'm done with the lace. It's just straight on stocking knit. So I just keep telling myself, like, just keep going. You're halfway there through the lace. Just keep going. And then, when I can't go any further, I move on to my next project, which I love, love, love. So, the Phoebe scarf by Josee Paquin, and this, I think this is a free pattern on Ravelry right now. I don't know if it's always been free. For some reason I was thinking I paid for it originally, but maybe not. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. This is my second one. And the colors are turning out really cool. I'm using some of the leftover colors from my first one, but I'm mixing up the sequence that I knit them in. And I'm also changing up what my two main colors are. So, I've made a lot of progress on this, because this one's been like an easy knit to pick up and just go, because it's just so easy and intuitive. So I'm going to, I don't know if I can back up here. So my, I'm all tangled in the yarn. Hang on. Ah. All right. So my first, you have two main colors, and this is the main color at one end. I'm going to move back here so you can actually see the color that's more true to the color. It's like an eggplant, and then you stripe your main color with, I'm going back as far as I can go, with these other colors. So this is like a light blue, and you can see, I think this is where I was last time I podcast. Then a gold color, and this is teal. And then right here, you start to stripe through, switching over to your new main color, which this is like a sagey green. I don't know how well it's showing up there. I don't know if you can see. Oop. So that kind of shows it a little bit. But, oops. So now I'm going to switch over, and like where the purple is here is going to be the sage green. And I have, oops, I have that. So these are the colors. And you really don't need that much. Like, I was doing this to use up the colors that I had left from my first one, which is like this amount. And the light gray was one of the main colors in my other one, so I don't have as much left of that. But I still have a lot left over. Like, I used the teal, and this is like, it hardly put a dent in it. So I still have plenty of this left over, and I'm probably going to make maybe just like a straight-on stripy, stripy scarf or cowl with it, maybe. Anyway, so these are, I'm not sure, I think I originally was going to do the coloring like this, but I think I might switch it up and go like that. So it'll be sage and then red, sage and then gray, sage and then navy, and then the tail end will be all sage. Oops. And that's the sage. That kind of gives a bit of a better color representation of it. So this is flying. I would not be surprised if I'm done this by the next podcast. And now that I've said that, I've totally jinxed myself. I do have a lot of ends to weave in. Oops. So, because you don't carry your ends because there's like a fair distance on the sections. The only place you carry your ends is when you get up to the smaller striping right here. But I think what I'm going to do is, before I go any further here, I'm going to go back and weave in my ends just so that part's done, because it really doesn't take that long. I think it's just the idea of weaving in ends is kind of like, So I'd say the Phoebe scarf and the socks have been getting the most love, and the Tegna scarf not as much. The other thing too is when I'm doing the other thing too is when I'm doing the Tegna scarf and I'm doing the lace, I need quiet time. I need like no disruptions, because if I'm counting stitches and I get interrupted, bad things happen. Not to the person that interrupted me. To the whatever. Maybe to the person that interrupted me. Anyway, so now actually this is in the queue, sort of. I have, of course, like most knitters, I'm sure, all of these like leftover from sock yarn stuff. Hordes of it. And I've kind of determined I don't want to do a scrappy blanket. But I thought I would do some cowls that use up scrappy pieces. So I've got Helen Stewart's Land of Sweets cowl, which I wanted to do last winter, but this was part of her, I think she was doing like an Advent mystery thing. I can't remember the name of it. Is it on here? KNITVent, 2017 KNITVent. where there was, I think, a different pattern. I don't know if it was every week or if it was every month. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, this was my favorite of the batch, and so I thought this would be perfect because it uses minis, which I'm not going to use minis. I'm going to use my sock scrap. And the other one is Linger by Natalie Larson. And let's see if I think this was a paid for pattern on Ravelry. So I don't want to show the thing. I can't remember if it was paid for or free. Anyway, that's Natalie Larson. It's the Linger Cowl. So that looks like pretty straightforward. And again, it uses up like lots of scrappy pieces. So I've got those two that I'm going to do. And I had originally planned on taking this out to the summer house and leaving it there, but then I thought we're only going to be out there a little bit this summer, so there really wasn't any point. But I've got this in my bento bag from one of the big ones from Fringe Supply Company, so I've got all my like little odds and ends in there. So I think what I'm going to do is that's going to be kind of an ongoing project that I'm going to work on, and using up like the bits and bobs. So just because I want to, I don't like having all of this. I could literally, I made a Sockhead hat out of this, and I'm pretty sure there's enough left for like socks here. And that, I have a lot of yarn left over. So I'm going to make some scrappy socks. I'm going to do the cowls, and I may actually, for ones like, I can do shorty socks out of that easy. I may do that as well. So that's the plan, to use up the leftover stash. And the other thing, I haven't touched my Maytham shawl at all. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to finish it. And then I take it out of the bag and I look at it and it's like, oh, I love these colors. But I don't know. I'll think about it. But in the meantime, I do really want to knit the Bendy Arrow. This one is by Charlotte BORY, I think you say her name. And she had a podcast, and I don't think she's I don't know if she's podcasted in a while, but she used to have a podcast. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I forget what it's called now. Charlotte and Gus? Something like that. I think her cat's name was Gus. Anyway, but I was watching an old episode of the Grocery Girls when they had been knitting this, and I was like, oh, I forgot I had really wanted to knit that, and I had the pattern in my, stack of patterns. So I thought this would be a really nice one, and I do have, which I think I shoved to the other side of the room, I do have like a navy yarn that I was holding for something else, but I may pull it and use it for this, with this, and then I don't know what I'll use for the lighter color yet, but I think I may cast that on fairly soon. And that's really, I think that's all we have in the queue. This might be a short episode, people. There is no shop update other than there's plenty of stuff in the shop. We're pretty much fully stocked. Etsy is making some changes, and I'm not sure right now if I'm going to stick with keeping my shop there. I am for now. I'm going to see what the changes are and if they're of any use to me, and if they're not, I may look at switching it over onto my own website and maybe setting it up through Shopify or something. Anyway, stay tuned. We are, as I said, we're going down to Mahone Bay and Lunenburg tomorrow. So there's 2 yarn shops. There's the one I always call the Yarn Burn. I know that's not the name in Mahone Bay. Have a Yarn, maybe? I always call it the Yarn Burn because it's like you walk in and it's just like all yarn. Anyway, obviously it's a yarn shop. So I am going down there. I expect there will be some stash bought. So, because you know, I don't have enough.
Please hang up and try again.
Okay, so, I did YVIE Knits, who's one of my favorite yarn dyers, was doing a trunk show at my local yarn shop last Saturday, but that was our weekend down at the cottage, and since it was one of our only weekends it was going to be down there, I didn't want to give it up. But there was some leftovers, so I did go by, and I picked up some stuff. I've been on an orange kick lately, I've noticed. I've got like, I'm kind of looking at my stash, seeing that there's a fair bit of orange in there. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. This is her Autumn Glory, and it is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. Look at all those lovely colors. So, and I don't think this isn't self-striping. Is this self-striping? No. No, it's just her MCN on her MCN sock base. And this is one of her bases I haven't used before. It's called, it's her charcoal colorway, which is 65% silk, 35% linen. And look at this, like, it's got like the gray and the blues going through it. I absolutely love it. Like, it is beautiful. I love this. This was the first one I saw, and I was like, yeah, that's it. So this is a fingering weight. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I may, how's the yardage on this? 439 meters, so that's good. I may make a old vine shawl out of this, maybe, because I've been wanting to make another one of those. So I may do that. So that was my purchases, but where we're going down to Mahone Bay and Lunenburg, and they both have the one in Lunenburg, I think it's called the Old Mariner's Daughter, and they've got some. It's smaller in size, but they have some really cool stuff in there. So I'm gonna pop into there, and I'm gonna pop into the shop on the corner, of course, and then to the Have a Yarn, or as I call it, the Yarn Barn in Mahone Bay. So, yeah, so that was my stash this week. I was relatively well behaved. I don't think there's anything else. So yeah, so that's about it. There's been a whole lot going on. We did spend the weekend down at the summer house last weekend. And it was really cool because there's some deer around there, and there's like 2 mama deers and 3 fawns, and they'll come down to the backyard, and the backyard is quite long. It goes like right down into the harbor, and they'll come in, they'll eat the hostices and the blackberries and just like the little flora and fauna, whatever in there, and they'll come in the evenings, like around supper time, and they'll come early in the morning. So I did get some really good footage of them, and I put it, it's in the beginning sequence there. And the last day there, on the Sunday, it was a weird day. It was one of those days where it's cloudy, but at the same, it's like cloudy over here, but it's sunny over here. So I got some really nice footage, and I stuck that kind of in the opening sequence as well. So that was really good. It was really kind of nice to just get away, get out of the city for the weekend, and go somewhere quiet and just relax. And we're going down again for the week we have in August. My husband's father's going back to Toronto that week, so we've got the whole place to ourselves, and we're just going to hang out. We'll probably do a couple of day trips, and things like that. We did go to Martinique Beach. We popped in there, but it was like a windy. It wasn't like the best weather last weekend. It was sort of a mix of sun and cloud and fog and stuff. But Martinique Beach was like windy, and it was cool, and the only people in the water were the surfers. So, but it was actually my first time seeing Martinique Beach, so that was pretty cool. We got some good shots there. And that's kind of about it. I'm reading The Glass Castle by, I think it's Jeanette Walls. It's kind of a memoir of her childhood, which was, oh my God. So I'm about a third of the way through that. I want to finish it before I watch the movie, which I think is on Netflix now. So I really want to see the movie, but I want to read the book first. I always have to read the book first before I see the movie. If I see the movie, I won't read the book. But I don't mind reading the book first and then seeing the movie, because I don't expect the movie to be identical to the book, because there's no way you can cram everything in a book into a 2-hour movie. So I don't get all hung up on that. So that's about it. What else am I doing? Just like knitting and taking it easy. I take a couple of Fridays off in July just so I can have a couple of long weekends. So today's one of those, and then next week is the other one. And today is sunny, and the rest of the weekend looks like it might be kind of cloudy and thunderstorms. So after I drop the dog off at the groomers, I think I'm going to go down to the... I haven't been journaling lately. I've always been an avid journaler from the time I was a kid, and this year I've been really slack at it, so I thought maybe I might take my journal and go down to the coffee shop and get myself a latte and an oat cake dipped in chocolate, and just kind of enjoy some sunshine while the dog gets his hair all cut and washed and made handsome again. And then I'm probably going to come home and knit a little. My stepson is in PEI this weekend, so my husband and I have a place to ourselves, so we're just going to kind of kick back and relax, do the day trip down to the South Shore, and that's about it. So I'm going to let you guys go because I still have to get the dog to the groomers. So I will talk to you guys next episode. Again, thanks so much for everyone who showed up to view the podcast. Give it a thumbs up if you like what you see. That really helps spread the word about the podcast. And check out the Ravelry group. There's an Ask Me Anything thread in there if you want to ask anything. There's a little bit of chatter. I'm trying to grow the group a little bit just so we can get a little more stuff going on. And I'm thinking maybe in the fall or winter I might look at doing a knit along. I'm not sure. I don't know if we have the size yet that would make that feasible, but I don't know, maybe look at hooking in with another podcaster to see if they want to do a joint one. We'll see what happens. Just thoughts, random thoughts. So anyways, again, thanks for subscribing to all the subscribers out there. It's really great seeing the podcast group grow, and to all new viewers, I hope you enjoyed what you saw and you'll come back and check us out. And again, subscribe if you want to be notified when the next episode is coming up. And until then, I will see you guys later. So happy knitting.